Methods of project evaluations. Welcome to M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander. I'm so glad that you've joined me today because we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic called methods of project evaluations. There's something I need to tell you guys that every M&D professional should know about this, should be able to dissect what an evaluation is and how to conduct an evaluation. But before I go any further, I just want to let you know that I've been doing this for a very long time. If you are here for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel because on a regular basis I post updates in relation to monitoring and evaluation. So without wasting any more time, I want to talk about one or two things. One of those things is the M&D guide for 2020. If you haven't done so, please be sure to download this ebook. If you're having trouble downloading this ebook, you can simply write to me and I'll be sure to send you a link. Another thing I want to talk about is how to set up a monitoring and evaluation system. This is a course hosted on Udemy, and I want to let you know that it's one of my best courses. It's not expensive, and I want to assure you that by enrolling in this course, you derive the maximum benefit. So as usual, this video is long, but don't lose heart because in the description below, there are timestamps so that you can easily navigate your way through the video. So let's get straight into business. Now, you see the guys, the evaluation is very important in every project, okay? Don't look at it as something of a threat to your reputation, okay? Because the reason why I say that is that some people look at evaluations as a threat to their jobs, but it's not like that. It's a mechanism to learn and improve. So every project that is run has to undertake an evaluation so that the management can determine what were the challenges and how best can they improve in future. There are three methods of project evaluations that I want to talk about. You have the process evaluation, you have the outcome evaluation, and the impact evaluation. And then in these evaluations, the three that I've talked about, they're actually enshrined in the summative. They can either be summative or formative evaluations, which I'll talk about because I'm pretty sure that as you are working or even when you're doing your studies, you're going to come across some of these terms. Now, the process evaluation really focuses on the activities. Now, I was going to use the word processes, but I don't want to be too repetitive. Now, let me give an example. Imagine that you have a goal to build yourself a house. All right. Now, that house, the reason why you want to build that house is so that you can improve your standards of living. Okay. It could be that you want to put that house on rent or yeah, you want to put it on rent so that you can generate more income, or you want that sense of security so that you can not have to pay rent and have more disposable income. So now the thing is that to build your house requires activities. So those activities are the processes. So I'll give you an example, like it could be that you need to buy cement, you need to hire workers, you need to spend money. All right. All those things are the activities leading up to building your house. Now, the reason why you want to evaluate whether these activities are being done the right way is because you want to determine that indeed so you are following the right standards of actually building this house and you're doing it on time. Okay. So it guarantees high quality in the processes leading up to what you want to achieve. So process evaluations, even in the project scenario itself, you have people actually trying to measure whether the right things are being done in terms of procurement, in terms of the way materials are used, and whether things are being done on time. And in these developmental projects, it's the same thing, it's the same language. So it's a good thing to do, and I would encourage you as if you're an organization doing this, I would encourage you also to do this as well. An outcome evaluation is what we know very well, you and me. It's the kind of evaluation where you have consultants come to your organization to determine whether indeed any change has been achieved. Now, this change can be in the short to medium term, okay, usually ranging between 3 to 5 years. I'll go back to the house example. You've built your house, okay? So now, the outcome of building your house, the reason why you build, because the house itself is an output, okay? If you follow the sequence, the construction of the house is actually the output, but the outcome of having your house is having more income generated because you are going to rent out that house. Or if you don't rent out that house, you stop paying rent and thus saving more money for disposable income, for spending. So, meaning that you have more money to spend. So, now essentially, what this means is that when you do this evaluation, if you built a house as an evaluator, I'm going to come to your household and ask you whether your income has increased. And you tell me, indeed, so income has increased, and you are happy that the income has increased. It could be that your satisfaction levels have also increased because your income has increased. Now, the impact evaluation is slightly different from the outcome, but they are very similar, except that the impact evaluation measures the long term change that has been achieved as a result of constructing your house. So, in the short to medium term, when you construct your house, you are going to have more disposable income. Now, in the long term, because you have more disposable income, what this means is that you have better livelihood as a family. And when we say livelihood, it means that you have more um, better health. You also have more wealth, okay, and also it could be better nutrition. Okay, so all that combination will translate to improved livelihoods. And that is why, if you look at many of the projects around the world, the projects that are being implemented, like poverty reduction projects, usually you can't see the change happen within a short time, but it's an impact result. Okay, it's something that you need to wait for some time, and this is one of the things that made me sit down, that kept me thinking that really, with this kind of scenario, it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually explains why still poverty is still in existence, because it's not that simple to eradicate. So now you find that people want to understand, despite all these projects running, why is it we still have poverty? So they'll come up with these evaluations, and these evaluations will explain why why the poverty levels are still on the increase and what can be done to solve it. Now, I on the onset I explained the formative and summative evaluations. I just touched a bit on it. These are terms that you actually come across in your work life, and don't be scared, and also don't be ashamed to, if somebody says, have you done a formative evaluation before? Sometimes, even me, I will tend to forget. I'll say, no, I don't know what that is. Don't be ashamed of that, because these are not terms that are used often, and usually when they're used, it's usually by those academicians. But really, what these terms are meaning are actually talking about what we've already talked about in the preceding. The formative evaluation focuses on learning as if you are doing what you planned. Okay, but if you look at the summative, it assesses what happened and asks if what you did was planned. If you read thoroughly between these two, you'll find out that the formative is looking at the present tense and the summative is looking at the past tense. What this means essentially is that, as you can see here, the focus on formative evaluation is on processes, and the focus on summative evaluation is on the actual learning. Okay. Okay, so now in the future, I'm going to talk about this in detail because in the coming months, I've decided that I feel that most of the students around the world need to know about conducting an evaluation. So I really thank you so much for being part of this presentation. If you want to write to me, use this email that I've shown before you. I've been your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side. Bye.